Your journey into the world of great stories begins now. Welcome to the English Audiobook Library.
I'm just saying, it looks like a giant blue soup bowl for a human being.
It is a scientifically backed recovery tool, Molika. It's a cold plunge.
It is an inflatable kiddie pool on your balcony, and you put 3 bags of gas station ice in it. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. As you can tell, Smith is currently in his extreme morning routine era.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Grab your coffee or your matcha or whatever gets you moving today. We are so glad you're here. And for the record, I was in that water for 3 whole minutes this morning. I feel alive. I feel like I could fight a bear.
You were shivering so hard when you walked into the studio that you dropped your keys. But seriously, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening from. We love that we get to be a part of your day, your commute, or your Sunday chores.
Absolutely. And honestly, my incredibly humbling experience in the freezing cold water this morning is kind of the perfect jumping off point for what we want to talk about today.
It really is, because today we are diving deep into habits, life changes, but not the shiny, fake, change your entire life in 24 hours kind of stuff you see on social media.
Oh, the That Girl or Sigma grind set videos?
Right. The videos where someone wakes up at 4 a.m., drinks a gallon of lemon water, runs a half marathon, reads an entire book, and cures an illness all before the sun comes up.
And when we watch those, we think, wow, my life is a mess. I need to completely overhaul my entire existence by tomorrow morning.
Exactly. And that is exactly what we want to dismantle today, because that mindset, the idea that you have to flip your life upside down to improve it, is actually the exact reason most of us fail to change at all. We want the movie montage, but real life isn't a montage.
It's so true. Real life is just a Tuesday morning when you're tired. I think about this all the time. We put so much pressure on ourselves to make these 180-degree turns, but if you try to turn a massive ship 180 degrees all at once, you're going to capsize it.
The resistance is just too high.
But what if you just turn the wheel 1 single degree? At first, it looks like you're going in the exact same direction. Nothing looks different. But if you hold that 1-degree shift for 100 miles, you end up on a completely different continent.
A 1-degree shift. I love that visual because it gives you permission to be imperfect.
Exactly. When did you first realize that the massive overhaul method didn't work for you? Because I know you used to be a big New Year's resolution person.
Oh, I was the queen of the New Year's overhaul. A few years ago, I decided I was going to get into peak physical shape. I bought the expensive gym clothes, the supplements, the meal prep containers. I told myself I was going to work out for an hour every single day, no matter what.
And how long did that last?
I laugh self-depreciatingly. 4 days. By Thursday, I had a headache, I had stayed up late working, and the thought of doing an hour-long boot camp class made me want to cry. So I didn't go. And because I didn't go, my brain said, well, you broke the streak, you failed. Might as well order pizza and give up completely.
The all-or-nothing trap, it is so brutal.
It's devastating. The shame spiral is real. But then, a few months later, I tried something completely different. I stopped focusing on the outcome, the peak physical shape, and just focused on the absolute smallest daily action.
What was the action?
I told myself I am going to put on my sneakers and walk outside for 10 minutes. That was the entire goal. If I walked to the end of the block and came back, I won the day.
That is brilliantly simple because it bypasses your brain's alarm system. Your brain panics at 1 hour of intense cardio, but it doesn't panic at 10 minutes of walking.
Exactly. The friction was almost zero. And what happened was I'd get outside, the air would feel nice, and I'd end up walking for 20 minutes or 30. Not because I had to, but because I was already in motion. Action creates momentum, not the other way around.
Action creates momentum. That's huge. We sit around waiting to feel motivated to start a good habit, but motivation is just a feeling, and feelings are incredibly unreliable. You don't wait to feel motivated to brush your teeth, you just do it because it's tied to your morning routine.
Which brings us to the actual mechanics of changing your life. Because you can't just rely on willpower. You have to rig the game in your favor.
Let's talk about habit stacking, because this is the single best tool I have ever found for actually making a daily change stick.
Yes, for everyone listening, if you want to add a new positive activity to your life, do not try to carve out a new block of time for it.
Right, your brain hates new schedules. Instead, you take a habit you already do every single day without fail, and you stack the new habit directly on top of it.
So, what's your favorite habit stack right now, aside from the freezing ice water?
Okay, no more ice water talk. My favorite one right now is reading. I wanted to read more, but I kept saying I don't have time. But I drink coffee every single morning while standing in the kitchen waiting for the dog to come back inside. That's about 5 minutes of dead time.
So you stacked it.
I stacked it. I put a physical book right next to the coffee machine. Now, the rule is, while the coffee is brewing, I read 1 page. Sometimes I read 3 pages, but I always read 1. I finished 4 books this year just standing in my kitchen.
That is powerful, because you didn't need willpower, you just needed a trigger. The coffee machine was the trigger.
Exactly. It's that 1-degree shift.
I've finished 4 books this year just standing in my kitchen. That is incredible, and it perfectly illustrates the point. You didn't need willpower. You just needed a trigger. The coffee machine was the trigger.
Exactly. It's that 1-degree shift. You make the good habit so easy, so frictionless, that it's almost harder not to do it.
Frictionless. Okay, let's pull on that word for a second, because if making a good habit frictionless is the secret to starting it, then the secret to breaking a bad habit must be adding friction, right?
Boom. Yes, 100%. We talk so much about how to start doing good things. But I think for a lot of our listeners, the real struggle is how to stop doing the things that are draining them.
Oh, absolutely. The doom scrolling, the late night junk food, the hitting snooze 4 times and starting the day in an absolute panic.
The panic start. I know that one intimately. But you're right. If you want to break a bad habit, you cannot rely on telling yourself, I just won't do it this time. Your brain loves the path of least resistance. You have to physically put a roadblock in the way.
Give us an example of how you've done that, because I know you used to be really bad about checking your phone the literal second you woke up.
Oh, it was terrible. My eyes would open, and before I even knew what day it was, I was looking at work emails or scrolling through the news, and it completely hijacked my morning. I'd start the day feeling anxious and behind schedule.
So how did you stop? Because just don't look at it never works.
Never. So I added friction. I bought a cheap $10 digital alarm clock, and I put my phone charger in the kitchen.
You banished the phone from the bedroom.
I banished it. And let me tell you, the first 3 nights, I had literal withdrawals. I would reach over to the nightstand, and it wasn't there, and my brain would scream, "Where is the dopamine square?"
The dopamine square. That is exactly what it is.
But because it was in the kitchen, the friction was too high. To get my phone, I would have had to throw off the warm covers, walk across the cold apartment, and stand in the dark kitchen. My brain was like, nah, not worth it. Go back to sleep. I used my own laziness to cure my bad habit.
That is brilliant. You made the bad habit inconvenient. And I think that applies to everything. If you want to stop eating junk food at 11 p.m., the habit doesn't start at 11 p.m. It starts at the grocery store. You add friction by simply not putting it in the cart.
Exactly. If the cookies are on top of the fridge, you might eat them. If they are 3 miles away at the store, you definitely won't.
You know, there's one more piece to all of this that I think we really need to touch on, and it's the emotional side of changing your life, because it requires a ridiculous amount of patience.
The lag time.
Yes, the lag time. You start walking for 10 minutes a day, or you start reading 1 page a day, and for the first 3 weeks, absolutely nothing happens. You look in the mirror, you look exactly the same, you look at your life, nothing has magically transformed.
And that is the exact moment where 99% of people quit. They cross the 3-week mark, they say this isn't working, and they stop.
Exactly. But what they don't realize is that the work is compounding underneath the surface. It's like an ice cube sitting in a freezing room. You can raise the temperature from 25 degrees to 26 to 27 to 30 to 31, and the ice cube just sits there. It looks like your effort is doing absolutely nothing.
But then you hit 32 degrees.
And it melts. All of a sudden it melts. Not because of that one final degree, but because of all the invisible work that happened before it.
Wow, that is the best way to describe personal growth I have ever heard. You are just raising the temperature in the room 1 degree at a time.
You are. And to everyone listening to us right now, I want you to really hear this. If you are putting in the work, if you are trying to be a little kinder, trying to save a little money, trying to move your body just a little bit more, and you feel like nothing is happening, you are not failing.
You are not failing. You are just storing up potential. The breakthrough is coming.
It is. You just have to keep showing up. Don't look for the massive overhaul. Just look for the 1 degree shift today.
What a perfect place to wrap this up. I feel like I needed to hear that ice cube metaphor today just for my own life.
I have to remind myself of it constantly.
Well, to our listeners, thank you. Truly, thank you for spending your morning or your evening with us. We know how valuable your time is, and the fact that you choose to spend it letting us ramble in your ears means the absolute world to both of us.
It really does. If you got something out of today's episode, if it made you think differently or just gave you a little bit of peace, please hit that subscribe button. It is the #1 way you can support the podcast so we can keep making these for you.
And leave us a comment. We want to hear from you. What is one tiny frictionless habit you're going to try to start this week? Or what is one bad habit you're going to put a roadblock in front of? Let us know down below.
Have an incredibly beautiful week, everyone. Give yourself some grace, keep making those tiny shifts, and we will see you right back here in the next episode.
Catch you next time, guys.